Hello, everyone. Tone Deaf Monk. What a surprise. This is my first EPZ. It's called the Q5. And came, first of all, I gotta say that the presentation is pretty fabulous. You're starting right off the bat, box, beautiful little box that says sound for the custom pleasure in it. EPZ audio started in 2019, Q5. The whole theme of this one was a celebration of 5 years. You're presented with a very, very funky box that kind of opens up in the middle. And then underneath this little thing, you have the earbuds and a very cool little usable case. And a nice little cable. Actually, the quite nice little cable that I did some listening impressions, but don't think it was the best pairing. And let's jump into it. But I'll start off with a spoiler. EPZ, you know how to tune IAMs. Bravo. Over here to my left, this used to be my number one pick under $50 for a set, and this is the Simgot EW200. Still love this set, and this is what I was doing my comparison against. So the EPZ Q5 runs about $5 more than the Simgo. But let's talk about that. I really love the tuning of the Simgot EW200. I really do. I think it's a terrific, terrific IM. Very, very hard to beat. The metal shell, the angle of it, the fitment, all very wonderful. The tuning is absolutely terrific. Over here, I also have EA 500 and an EA 1000 that just came in today. Did some comparisons against that, but I'm not going to compare it against double or triple or quadruple the price. That's not fair, though it would favor that more expensive Simgos, but these hold their own. I got the white version, kind of no, the black one. The white ones are okay, but they kind of look like somebody punched you in the face and your big molar fell out. That being said, my daughter saw him, fell in love, and I had to pry him out of her ears and hands in order to actually get some listening time in, and before she steals them again. She really, I have, as you know, do tons of reviews, multi-kilobuck IMs that I let her listen to too. This is her favorite by far. The EPZ Q5 is a very nice, gentle V-shaped IM, tuned very, very well. I'll pull up a graph and I will show you its tuning, and at 95% of my fun target curve, it hits. That is bravo. There's a little bit more treble energy than I normally like, but because there's lots of bass, it actually works quite well for this IM. The gentle sloping Pina gain is also in the Goldilocks range. It really is. When you can see it goes up, it's not too abrupt and sharp, transitions nicely into the highs. It is a well-tuned V shape, and I love this kind of tuning for the fun factor. So I listen to a whole bunch of music, but I primarily was focusing on rock. I really was. AC/DC, Rolling Stones, The Tea Party, Creed, And then my females, Alanis Morissette, Melissa Etheridge, Halsey, and then I went into some jazz as well, right? Miles Davis, Jimmy Smith, Poncho Sanchez, and I had big grins on my face. This is my new favorite. I am around the $50 price point, and I'll tell you why. So we'll start off, we'll go from the bottom and work our way up. The bass is really nice and sub bass focused, but it does have excellent extension into the mid bass. And where I thought the EW200 didn't have very much bass bleed, which is kind of interesting, is once you pair it up or pit it up against another IM, it actually does sound like it has a little bass bleed compared to how clean the mid bass is on this. Tonality wise on the bass, I said on the EW200 Simgo that it's a very quality driver, and I totally stand by that. But I actually like the tonality of this driver over the Simgos. To me, it sounds better. Just a couple tracks that I thought, like The Runner, Kings of Leon, another, rock band. For male vocals, I'm listening to this. Great vocals, super clean, lots of mid bass, no bleed, very nice highs. And then if you listen to the EW200, the vocals are thicker, but they're not as natural. And overall, though I like the extra tonality of the extra weight of the vocals for male vocals on the Simgo, I preferred the overall tuning and the sound that came out of the EPZ Q5. Bleed It Out, Linkin Park. Yeah, that's the other thing. So the stage on these Q5s is very, it's one of my favorite kinds of tuning, where you are pulled in center stage, great width, great depth. But it's presented very wide as well. So not only do you get your major focus in on the center vocals and mids, you get fabulous left and right stereo separation. Really, really nice. Really fun. And I really like this kind of stage presentation in this tuning. Nothing Else Matters, PG Roxette, so I'm listening to female vocals. And this track also is great for bottom end. If you're a female vocal lover like me, who would prefer female vocals over male vocals typically, this is where you would pick the EPZ Q5 in a heartbeat. If you had these two, including the EA500, I would pick the Q5. Just because I really like the way it has that, the energy, and again, the way it presents female vocals very naturally, effortlessly. And the bass goes low on the Q5, low and tight, actually, which is another thing for me if you ever watch any of my videos. So I like quantity, but more importantly, I'll take quality over quantity. And in this case, really, really happy with what I heard with the Q5. These sets is I think very well priced, and it's very competitive in the market. Like I said, I think it's going to be my top recommendation in that price point. And if I listen to that same track now with Miley Cyrus, again, I love the grit and the edge of her voice. I love the bass. I even, that's what I wrote. I wrote, damn, I love this bass. Punchy and organic. The V-shape really does make songs like this very lively and dynamic. That's the other thing, right? If you had a very neutral sounding IM, it isn't going to be very dynamic. The transitions between the very quiet passages and the very loud passages are only what the song is engineered and produced, where this one's adding some coloration to that, adding some energy into the lows and energy into the highs to make the IM more dynamic. Rankin. Now, this is the live version in concert by Dead Can Dance. I love this track, and I listened to this track for stage, and I want to hear how big and how wide and how open and how spacious it sounds, and it's and on this track. Because I've listened to it 100 times, I'm very intimate on the way it sounds and on different IMs. And again, I love the way it keeps you centered on the vocals, but it just had this huge, incredible width, but it had really nice depth too, which is rare in an IM, and height as well. So well done. We're talking where it can do stage presence in a $60 IM, and $1,000 IMs don't do it as this well, right? Or differently anyway, but I like the way it presents this one. Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. Oh, the female vocals and male vocals in this track by Rumors, very nice. I really like the highs. Very great. Vocals were absolutely amazing. It never got sibilant or sharp, and that was, and it just allowed you to enjoy the music. And I kept finding myself getting sucked into the music while I'm trying to review this for its sound. And that is, again, a very good compliment when you keep pulling your focus away from actually listening to the gear and you're just listening to music. Bravo again, EPZ on this one. So again, just to sum up the sound part of it, bass, sub bass over mid bass. Mid bass is terrific, vast and detailed. Instruments sound great. Bass guitar could have a little bit more note weight, but sacrificing at that point, I think vocals, it would add maybe too much of the coloration or lose some of the special sauce that makes the EPZ Q5 special. And then doing that really critical listening track one, switch. The EW200 definitely has more weight in the bottom end. For male vocals, it definitely comes across. For piano, it comes across. Double bass, kick drums. But it's not the same quality as the Q5. And that's where I found I was enjoying the Q5 more than I was with the EW200. The Q5 has just a better top end all around. Stage as the EW200, very, very good. Q5 better. Not by a little, probably by double, in my opinion. That's quite a bit. Overall, the Q5 over the EW200 just sounds really more natural, and especially in vocals. Even though it didn't add more of the heft in, it did. It just sounded more organic. Where the Q5 plays a little bit lower in the sub bass, the EW200 plays a little bit more into the mid bass, and that's where I noticed this round, doing the comparison, where it sounded like it had a little bit of bass bleed, where the Q5 just sounded like it played cleaner. I really liked that. Though it did have a little bit more sub bass emphasis, it didn't overpower the mid bass, if that makes a little bit more sense. And I really like the more energy that the Q5 had over the EW200 as well. It just makes more, the instruments and vocals pop definitely a bit more. And overall clarity of the Q5 is top tier. Really, really nicely done. I would say overall, the biggest difference between the EPZ Q5 and the Simgo, the wonderful EW200, is the timbre, is the way it presents notes more correct, or at least more natural sounding to my ears. And that's what really caught me off guard with the Q5. It was just allowing you to get sucked into the music again. Then you're listening to your music and not listening to your gear. So big compliment to the Q5. Absolutely terrific IM. I've been hearing tons of good things about EPZ, and I wanted to start off with the entry level. I reached out to them. They ended up sending me this no charge. I'm going to buy a black one. I like it that much in a heartbeat, because I'm probably losing this one to my daughter anyway, so I might as well buy the piano black one. That is my thoughts and my overall impressions of the EPZ Q5. Again, I give you a round of applause, because so hard to get nice V-shaped tunings, tastefully done. Very nice Goldilocks Pina gain. It's not overly saturated. Your mids sound terrific. And again, as a female vocal lover, loving it a lot. So thank you to EPZ, and I'll pick up more of their stuff. Really like their, from what I'm hearing. I didn't talk about shell shape and all that stuff, but it is a nice little shell shape with this little kind of design. My daughter's smaller ears, and again, she says these are very comfortable as well. So I think that was part of the reason why she stole these things. Oh yeah, the last thing I just wanted to touch on is the cable. I did say something at the beginning. That is kind of one of the things that I think fell down. Again, it'd be nice to have a option for balanced. And again, most of my gear I use 4.4. On this one, you see a pure copper cable. Don't ask me which one this is. It's a Hakugi. Joyful voice, but I don't recommend it because I've had 10 of them and I'm now down to 4 because they all fail. As soft and flexible and as great sounding they are, they're just not reliable. But a pure copper cable is what I'd recommend for this particular IM, where the one in the box is an SPC and it adds too much of the top end and adds a little bit of glare that I wanted to get rid of. I didn't need to do anything. I didn't need to put any filters on this. I didn't need to tune it differently in any way except for using this and a warmer source, but not terribly too warm. So the best pairing that I did for me was the Gishelli Labs J2 4493, so not the super warm version, with the E2 amp. That's pretty, it adds just a hint of warmth. It almost sounds like an ESS, but a little bit smoother and a lot smoother and warmer. But my best pairing was the Ibasso DX170 using a Cirrus Logic. And I also have the same thoughts when I use the Shiro, the Truthier Shiro little DAP dongle. So CSS works really great in this particular case because it adds a little bit of warmth, but a warm source. That's what I'm getting to. Anyway, gonna shut up now. That's it. Thank you. This is Tone Deaf Monk. If you like what you saw, please help my channel and throw us a like in there and subscribe. Much appreciated. Thank you. Out for now. Until I bring you that EA1000 Simgo that I'm playing with. Cheers.